Fluent forever, how to learn any language fast and never forget it. First of all, I want to say that I am not a native speaker, I am just here for practice, and I will read chapter 3, Sound Play. I already started this book. You can see my other videos, and this time I will talk about as I said, chapter 3, sound play. L'accent est l'âme du discours, ouais. Il lui donne les sentiments et la vérité. Voilà. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Émile. Accent is the soul of language. It gives language its feeling and truth. So, with this quote, we start this chapter. Sounds interesting. Let's see. We spent 2 chapters pontificating about learning and memory, and admittedly, we haven't gotten much done. You haven't learned any useful words, and I am about to tell you not to open your grammar book. Instead, we are going to venture off into the land of sound. We'll discuss many reasons why, but the most important is this. When you are not sure about the way your language sounds, you are stuck learning 2 languages instead of just one. Interesting. In an ideal world, the written language and the spoken language walk together, hand in hand. They share words freely among themselves, help each other through those spots, and generally have a good time together. We come along, hang out, and soon enough, the 3 of you are good buddies. Written language gives you some good book recommendations. You have dinner over at Spoken Language's house, and the 3 of you have a blast. What's not to love? 2 languages have a new companion, and you are getting to know them at breakneck speed. Because you can chat about what you have read, and you can read about what you have heard. All of this goes to crap if we don't start with pronunciation, because we get stuck with a bunch of broken words. We encounter a broken word whenever we think a word is pronounced one way, but it's actually pronounced a different way. These words can be shared between the written language and the spoken language, and as a result, they break up our little circle of friends. You may have encountered broken words in English. I certainly have. I spent the majority of my life convinced that the word scheme was pronounced scheme. Or well, I don't know. I read about color schemes, pyramid schemes, and the shaming of men who run them. Well, he was pronounced badly, I think. Unfortunately, Shim had a friend named Skim. Skim? Well, I think that's how to pronounce it. Seemed quite similar in meaning and usage to Shim. But I never seemed to see both words in the same place, so I never knew when to use which word. I avoid using either of them whenever possible. I only discovered the true identity of scheme when in the middle of college, when I finally decided to Google both words and figure out the real differences between them, and the real differences between them, and instead discovered that my two words were in fact one word and one pronunciation mistake. My two schemes lived in the crevice. They had own, I don't know, HAWN. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Well, I will Google it. Hyun. Well, okay, this is a new word for me. Between my spoken language and my written language. This crevice, I am not sure how to pronounce it. Sorry, guys. Crevice. In Spanish, hendedura. So, this crevice was thankfully small. I only rarely fell in and became confused because schemes are not everyday occurrences. But imagine for a moment how difficult it will be if your entire language were taught with schemes and shims or something like that, because the difference of pronunciation, yeah, it's different, the pronunciation, but I am not so sure. Lurking behind every corner. You will never be sure of the precise meaning and usage of any of these words, and as a result, you'd have a terribly difficult time using or remembering them. In English, you are unlikely to fall into the broken word trap many times. You are surrounded by conversations, books, movies, and television shows that will inevitably catch the wackiest of wackiest. I am not sure. Sorry. Wackiest. Okay, so the wackiest of pronunciation mistakes. In a foreign language, you are not so lucky. At the end of my French immersion program, I sat in a classroom with 7 advanced French students discussing philosophy. We had recently read Hughes Clause, I'm not sure, by Sartre. And we were comparing Sartre's ideas with those of Descartes. It may have been the most esoteric, highbrow conversation I have ever had, and it was in French, of all things. Highbrow conversation, so new language for me. What does it mean? Highbrow? Yeah, I see. Like higher level intellectual conversation. Cool. Yeah, one of my colleagues raised her hand and pointed out that there was another philosopher we should be discussing. His name was Descartes. Okay, yeah, she was making a mistake in the pronunciation. I think interesting. So it's important pronunciation, guys. Well, as I said, sometimes I don't know how to read something, but I search it, and when you search it, no, that's all at all, yeah. So it's important to take your time. Maybe it's not as quickly as maybe you will not finish this book as quickly as you want, but it's important to avoid any doubts, to try to analyze why the pronunciation is in this matter, why is the pronunciation like this, and why depending on the context also can vary the meaning of the word. So yeah, it's complexity. Well, we are talking about languages, and when we talk about languages, we talk about complexity. So, French type of the day. This is another title in the same chapter, but French type of the day. If you encounter an errant French word in your travels, you can assume that every final consonant is silent except for the consonants found in the English word careful. So, okay. So my college had been caught by a broken word, but this time her language was full of them. French is notorious for its quirky spelling. The vast majority of French final consonants are thrown away. B is pronounced b, and boo is pronounced boo. Okay. Oddities like this emerge in nearly every language. In English, phrases like I'm going to go are gradually replaced with I'm gonna go, okay? Which may eventually turn into I'm gonna go. Sorry guys, I don't know how to say it. I gonna go. Like that. Yeah, like you are missing some letters there. Okay. These changes occur more quickly in the spoken language than in the written language, so each language eventually splits in half. French is currently two languages: the written language of Descartes and spoken language of Descartes. Okay, so we're talking about the same person, but different pronunciation. I get it. So, in the ideal world we discussed earlier, you and these two languages will grow together and support each other. When you read a book, new words and bits of grammar find their way into your conversations. In those conversations, you will hear new words, which will find their way into your writing. Every time you encounter new input, it improves your understanding and fluency in every aspect of your language. This process only works if you can successfully connect the words you read to the words you hear. My colleague had read about Descartes from books, and she had heard about Descartes in discussions. Because she hadn't internalized French drop the final consonants rule. She was struggling to keep track of broken words with similar names, very similar beliefs, and the exact same professions. By the end of our discussion, she learned about her mistake. That's an important thing, to learn about your mistake. But what about 100 or 1,000 words that we hadn't discussed? So the important thing is, well, I have a mistake. Well, I try to not talk about my mistake. Okay, I have a mistake. That is great. I have to work on that. Yeah, that is the main thing, the main points of studying languages. It's not you are a student always, even if you are a professor, even if you are a native speaker, you are always a student. Yeah. So okay, so which broken deserts, bathroads are on terrains? Okay. Dessert, terrain. I don't know. Je sais pas. Peut-être que c'est en anglais, peut-être que c'est en français, je sais pas. I don't know, guys, if these words are in French or not. Okay, because they are similar. Well, we're still hiding in the shadows, armed with their silent, violent consonants, and waiting for the opportunity to cause confusion. Well, I don't get it. Which broken okay, so why mistakes in the shadows? Why put them light? Try to understand why you are making these mistakes, why you're thinking like that. Because when you memorize something and that is confused, or maybe you didn't ask what you wanted to ask, that's the worst thing that can happen, because you have to externalize all your mistakes and all your doubts and all that you want to ask. That's why it's very important to have a good professor or a tutor or whatever. Maybe you can study alone, like I do, and it's the same thing. But you have to be the judge of yourself. That it's the hardest part, maybe. But it's a good way if you don't have time. But you have to be. I don't know, maybe it's not easy to be the judge of yourself because you are not a native speaker, but you have to try to compare the sound, how your pronunciation goes, or to make I don't know, maybe to think about your mistakes by listening to other native speaker, listening, I don't know, the radio, something like that. Yeah, it's more, maybe it's more harder. The best is if you have a tutor or a professor who teach you and comprehends you in your process and helps you in every way. But if you have time, or your time is limited, or maybe you don't want to be I don't know, maybe you only have free your weekends, and you want to have I know flexibility about your free hours, because you have so many things to do. I don't know. Well, maybe it's your only option, and it's an option. I mean, it's something. It's not like that. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have time. Even if you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes per day, that's something that means something, and you can improve your level every day. I am pretty convinced about that, and I know. Memorize is a good tool. Yeah, that could help you in that process. So, well, better I go on. The better you internalize good pronunciation habits in the beginning, the less time you'll waste hunting down broken words. If you can build a good Let's see.
Gut.
Gut. Yeah, I know what it means. Gut. It sounds like, no, it sounds different. So, if you can build a gut instinct about pronunciation, then every new word you read will automatically find its way into your ears and your mouth, and every word you read will bolster your reading comprehension. Bolster. I don't know what that means. Bolster. So let's see. Yeah. Support or strengthen, prop up. So you will understand more, you will learn faster, you will spare yourself the hunt for broken words. Along the way, you have an easier time memorizing. You will make better impressions upon native speakers, and you will speak more confidently when you are reading. Interesting. It's true. It's all about practice. The magical word. So, how can you do this quickly? Well, we want all, yeah, quickly, fast, efficiency, but it's not so easy. To be efficient, sometimes, yeah, you can do it that quickly, but not so quickly, because you have to work every day harder and harder on every language you want to study, and the success will come for sure. Yeah. If you spend 2 months poring over spelling rules and vowel charts before learning a single word, you're probably going to get bored. Yeah, that's true. For example, my case is grammar. I hate grammar, guys. It's the worst thing that can happen to me. You need a path through pronunciation that quickly teach you the basic, and then reinforces and develops your pronunciation instincts while you're busy learning the rest of the language. In this chapter, I'll break down the 3 main challenges you are up against: ear training, mouth training, and eye training. We'll cover the differences between them, the methods you'll use to beat them, and the rewards you'll find when you do. Okay. Train your ears, wire your brain. Okay. At the age of the North Sea, a German Coast Guard officer waits at his radio. Kush! Mayday, mayday! Hello, can you hear us? We are sinking! Yeah, hello. She is the German Coast Guard. Okay, German pronunciation. We're sinking. We're sinking. I think I'm pronouncing well or not. Okay, I have a doubt, so I will check it. Sinking. Okay. Okay. What are you thinking about? Yeah. Interesting, because it's I don't know, a game of words. Right? I like it. Babies get a lot of credit in the language learning world. That's true. We are not babies. We cannot learn any language because we don't have this powerful memory that have the babies. Okay, the babies, great for them, but we can, we can. They have seemingly Superman ability to hear the differences between every sound in every language. Whoa. And there are quite a lot of sound to hear. The world's languages contain roughly 800 phonemes, 600 consonants and 200 vowels. Most languages choose around 40 of these to form their words, although the range is quite broad. There's an each language called Rotakas in Papua New Guinea. I don't know how to say in English, to be honest. With only 11. Sorry, I missed the word. Yeah, with only 11 phonemes, and ta spoken in Toscana. Sorry if I am pronouncing badly. Uses about to 112 plus 4 tones. Some of these phonemes are totally foreign to us English speakers here. The click languages of Africa can sound bizarre, but most phonemes are subtle, a variation on similar sounds. There are at least 10 that occur in the world's languages, and English speakers rarely hear the differences among any of them. Two different T's allow you to hear. I am talking about the letter T. Allows you to hear the difference between my cat stand and my cat stand. My cat stand. Yeah, okay. Unless you frequent cat tiny salons, this distinction isn't particularly important in English. If, on the other hand, you are learning Korean, you will find that T, the letter T, as in tan and T as in stan, are two entirely different letters, which from entirely different words.